Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this one we're looking at the AJAZZ AK60 mechanical gaming keyboard. This is more of a budget aimed keyboard, but it still does feature some pretty cool designs that you'd expect to see on something that's a lot more higher end. Now it's available with brown, black and blue switches. I've got the blues for you to see today as it's the only one that they actually had in stock when I got it in, but they have got all three available now on the website. A few of the details are a little bit lost in translation, so I'm going to just try and do the best I can, give you the specs as what I think they mean. So you've got 16.8 million colours for the RGB lighting. You can actually customise this if you download the software from their website as well. They say it's got a humanised design, adding a series of shortcut function keys. It's made of ABS plastic, 104 key layout, 50 million key lifespan on the switches, also full N key rollover as well. There's actually a few more bits included in the box as well that's actually listed on the website, so I'll show you those in a moment. Now as you can see, there's an inner and an outer box. The first one's a pretty plain brown box, but then the one inside's a little bit nicer, also with the metallic first blood writing in the corner as well. Black and red always goes well together, doesn't it? So looking very snazzy. So pretty simplistic layout inside the box. First thing you're going to see is obviously they're going to be the keyboard, all wrapped in protective packaging. Now the USB cable is a nice 1.8 meter braided cable, very nice tight weave on there as well, so there's no visible cables underneath. So the instructions included in the box are in Chinese, so obviously no use unless you can speak that, but you do get a cool key remover as well. Also got one of the switches on the end that matches with your keyboard. Okay, so onto the actual keyboard itself. Personally for me, I love this design. The gunmetal look is just absolutely stunning. Having the keycap letters actually etched on the front of the keys rather on the top, I think makes it look even better. When you look top down, it looks proper stealthy. Also, quick sidebar, this is the best angle I could get without it falling over every time, so apologies it's not directly straight up, but it does give you a rough idea of how it looks. Obviously you're going to want to see it without the lights as well. I will go through all of the features that they offer later on, but a quick glimpse now. And one thing I love about this keyboard is the media control that's on the top right. So basically you can press it down to do a mute, or you can use it as a scroll wheel for volume. Then you can press the adjustment button to the left of it, which will then make the scroll wheel actually change the brightness of your LEDs. Then you can press it to totally disable the illumination as well, which I think is really quite cool to have a multifunction button rather than just a single use for volume. Continuing with the stealthy theme, if you're someone that likes a really minimalist look on your keyboard, the only logo on this one is a DBoss logo on the bottom right hand corner. You've actually really got to look for it as well, so at a glance on your desk you wouldn't even be able to notice it. So along the top you've got your quick shortcuts for different things. I haven't actually seen one that's got the kind of old school design for a long time. You've got kind of things like your web browser, your word processing program, buttons to launch iTunes and your mail, things like that. Those kind of style shortcut keys are pretty old. Generally if people want to use those now, they just macro keys to them. So personally nowadays I don't really think you need those. The ones I do like to see though, the play and pause and previous next track, as well as the volume wheel which I've shown you. Personally for me, really great to have on any keyboard. Okay, so looking at some of the lighting effects built into the keyboard, the first one's a colour cycle that goes through all the 16.8 million colours. Now I'm not going to show you all of that just because of the time it takes to go through the video, but it's quite a cool effect. Next one's Starlight, which randomises different colours throughout the spectrum on different keys, which is quite nice. Personally one of my favourites. Don't really know how to describe the next one, just kind of does a random cycle effect. Then you've got an out to inwards rainbow. A nice static white as well, which is personally what I kept mine on. And then your classic rainbow wave. Now admittedly there are a lot more colour customization options you can do, and I'm going to direct you with the card on the screen now for another review that shows you all that in detail. Now those of you that know my reviews, you know I like to mention the RGB and how it makes white. This one does struggle quite a bit, it is rather blue. But then again, you've got to consider it is a budget end keyboard, so you can't expect the world. On the flip side, you've got some pretty standard pads to make sure it doesn't slip on your desk. Also rubber on the height adjustment as well, which is nice, to make sure it's not going to move when you're smashing those keys. So onto the switches, standard Cherry Onyx Blue, so 50 grams of actuation force required with a 2mm actuation point, with a pronounced click. Not great for office use, or if you're even sharing a room with somebody, but for those that are interested, have a listen. So as you can hear, very loud. You've definitely got to be the person that kind of likes a lot of noise to buy this keyboard in blues, but as I did mention, it is also available with browns and blacks. Now if you're wondering what the blacks are, they're basically the Cherry MX Red, so they've got no click or no bump, and they've just got a bit of a harder actuation point, so you just need to press them a bit harder. Apart from that, pretty much the same as reds. So we've gone over pretty much everything I can show you on the keyboard, so it's time for my conclusion. Now personally, blues aren't a key that I'd choose to use on the daily. I'd usually go with the browns or even reds. But as I said at the start of the video, this is the only one that was actually available at the time. That being said, the blues are for a specific kind of person, so if you like the noise and you need that feedback, then obviously they're going to be a good key for you. You can get a good typing speed with the blues as well, because obviously you know that you've hit the key due to that tactile click. So in terms of typing, it does a great job. Some of you may have thought this already, but it does look very, very similar to the AJAZZ keyboard. I definitely think they've taken a leaf out of their book in terms of styling. Obviously the difference between this and the AJAZZ keyboard is this one offers RGB lighting and obviously the front edge keycaps. But looking top down, it does look pretty much like the stealth AJAZZ keyboard that doesn't have any labelling on at all. One downside though with this keyboard is where the keycaps are metal, they do take all the oils from your fingers and they do get rather smudged very easily. I did find myself cleaning this on the regular, which to those guys that code maybe and they're spending hours typing, is going to get pretty grimy and pretty yucky quite quickly. Apart from that, I love the metal top plate. It does make it look really stealthy and definitely gives it a nice weight. Then the volume control is also very good as well. But overall, for a budget keyboard, it does a very great job and does a few of those features that you do find on the higher end models. So thank you for GearBest for sending this out for me to review. I will put the links in the description box below if you want to get one for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. My username is Jordan Ash Media. Links for that are in the description box below as well. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.